What's up, everybody? Hello, 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 everybody. It is the one and only African superstar. I have not been live for an entire week. So yes, I came to talk about this topic. I actually wanted to talk about it a couple days ago, but I didn't have time to really do it justice. So today we're going to talk about it. I want to give a shout out to the customers of theafricansuperstar.com. Thank you so much. Thank you for all of you that are sowing seeds towards the music project. We are the platform steadily growing. So I have a brand new music video when we reach 3,000, which is the Come Chill With Me. I've been promoting it on some of the other videos and whatnot. Today, I want to talk about, will you run the African race? And I think this is a question that needs to be considered, especially by those of you that are interested in the continent or venturing onto the continent. You really need to ask yourself, are you ready for what is going to come with that journey? Because if you're not, let me just save you the time and money of setting out on something where you will not have longevity and happiness and success. This topic actually is motivated by a video I saw on another YouTube channel's creator. Hello, hello. Another YouTube creator's channel, in which, he talked about that we won't make it. We're not going to be successful because of a lot of the problems on the ground, which I have been talking about in previous videos. Some of you guys are like, what are the problems? What's going on? Conflicts, cultural differences, scams, confrontations. In Ghana, there was a gentleman in the Cape Coast area that pulled a gun on a local, farmer in his area for trespassing on his land. And a host of other things, and basically a lot of distractions, a lot of confusion, drama, and it's making some people ask themselves, do I really want to do this, or am I going to have success in this? And that's why I want to ask you, will you run the African race? Because if you're not counting up everything that goes with the race, then you're not ready. Okay? If you think this is going to be a fairy tale, you're not ready. You know, because in reality, being a pioneer and being a leader is not appetizing. It sounds great, like, yeah, I'm the realest out, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, yeah, but in reality, it's a lot of behind the scenes, it's a lot of serious internal conversations. It's a huge investment. It requires a lot from you to go that direction because, quite frankly, many of your peers is not going that direction, which means you kind of got to step out there on a limb. You got to be your own resources. You got to carve your own path. You got to be resilient. You got people watching you. There's a lot that goes into being a pioneer and a leader. And for those of you that are on the continent and you're asking yourself this, I encourage you to evaluate and examine the reasons that have brought you to this conclusion in the first place. Because, a lot of people have amnesia. I don't have amnesia. I be remembering. I be remembering. But a lot of our people have amnesia. So, kind of, they get to the continent and they begin to be impacted by the continent, and maybe they find things they don't like, or maybe they have situations with people they don't like, and then all of a sudden they forgot the initial reasons that caused them to make this decision in the first place. And that's why I asked you to look at your situation and evaluate what made you want to come to the continent in the first place. What made you curious about the continent? What made you want to maybe pack your bags and move or bring your kids? What were the reasons behind that? Because those are the things that you always got to remember. Okay, big shout out to African Superstar family. We got a couple of you in here. Please be on code, greet me in the chat room, and be interactive, okay? Make sure you like the video, get a little crowd support. All right, today I'm talking about, will you run the African race? Are you ready? Now, when you see these track stars, for instance, like Usain Bolt, he's a popular one. Um, do you think that he just got up one day and said, I'm about to run for the Olympics? My friends told me I was fast. My coach back in middle school told me I was fast. So I'm just about to just go and register for the Olympics. No. Okay. What about those people that do the Tour de France? Okay. There's all these biking stars. The person that comes to mind is Grappel. Okay, there was this man who was a champion in one of those Tour de France bikeathons, and I just remember when he crossed the finish line, he pumped his arms up in the air. Andre Grappel is his name. Okay, do you think that these athletes just got up in the race? Because if you do, then you're sorely misinformed and sadly mistaken. Big shouts to Mina. Thanks for coming by and seeing me. It's been a while. How are you doing? In other words, what I'm telling you is ready yourself for the African race. Get ready. Okay. Get ready for changes. Get ready for uncharted waters. Get ready for, unanswered questions because the question you're having, like none of your peers can answer. It's the first time you've been in these situations. Big shout outs to Jean. I got a Instagram message from another content creator here that will soon be visiting Ghana, but I did inform him I'm not currently there. Um, he was talking about various things and this and that, and the reality is, like, guys, prepare yourself. Try to condition your mind for the journey, because if you don't, with the first instance, you're going to be ready to back out. You're going to be ready to quit. When you have conditioned your mind for the challenges, you immediately kind of go into your backup plan. Big shout out to Alexis. I see her here. I was just on your channel, Alexis, watching one of your recent videos. Alexis was talking about how much money do I need to, have for Africa. And in her video, she talked about I want to have a back, a safety fund. I want to have this, my business in place. I want to do this and that. This is the kind of strategic thinking that you need that's going to give you the competitive edge, because when problems come, how you respond to them is everything. Now in my case, I talked about my journey obviously many times here on the continent. Obviously I'm in the UK at the moment, but but I've talked about my journey to Ghana and how originally that was supposed to go. Before COVID, I had decided that I was going to do 6 months in UK, 6 months in Ghana. Okay? And when the lockdown came, I said, "You know what? Let me just roll the dice and go all the way in and go to the continent and see what I can do." Okay? So me coming back and forth to the UK was always a contingency plan. I don't believe in like you just staying there until the situation is dire. I also think that for diasporians, I mean, unless you have a very, very consistent income, like folks like, Matrella Mission, she's retired now, and several other people are retired. They can have their pension money, they can have their social security money, they have assets and this and that they know, okay, it's guaranteed. For here on out, I have income. I don't have to worry about it. The rest of us that are trying to matriculate on the continent, we need to come to the grips that, yeah, we may need to pivot back and forth sometimes, or we may need to utilize resources in our, the land that we grew up in. Hello, because migrating is a big thing. And I think this is also a weakness of the diaspora, is not being realistic about what we're doing. You're talking about people that are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, have spent their entire life in the West. Okay, everything that they have amassed and acquired comes from the West. You're talking about picking up, moving to a new country, maybe without family, maybe without friends, maybe without any networks or whatever, and doing it. Yes, there are certainly cases of people that have had success, but if you need to, access your home, so to speak, to give you the competitive edge, so be it. You know, I'm pretty sure. I mean, matter of fact, I know in the case of African nations, these Chinese, for instance, Chinese come to Africa. Do they never return home? Do they move to Africa and just never go home? No, they go back to China. They get goods to sell. They get staff for their businesses or their warehouse. They get materials, huh? You know, they come to the continent and maybe figure out, okay, this is what we're going to do. This is the stuff I need. And then they go back and get it from home. We got to get over this, like, confusion about utilizing that, because actually having access to the international community is a huge asset. Many people around the world cannot just pick up and freely travel or afford to travel or have access to certain countries. For instance, a person in Ghana, if tomorrow they want to fly to the UK, if they don't have a visa or a British passport or an American passport, they can't just do that. There could be a death here in the UK that they want to come for the funeral or a wedding or anything else, and they can't just they don't have that same access that we have. But the bottom line is, guys, are you ready for the African race? Are you going to take on what potentially comes with you creating this transition? Be encouraged. It's part of the journey. It's part of the journey. What really doesn't make sense and what really is embarrassing is when you are not able to recalibrate. Okay. And one situation comes and it's like a fatal blow to you. That's where you might feel some shame and you might feel some embarrassment, because hey, you went out there on a limb, you spent lots of money, and now here you are. But if it's a situation where you're like, okay, I've gone over here, I have determined, okay, I need to go back to America, make $10,000, and I'm going to buy this land. Or you know what, I'm going to ship a 40-foot container with these goods over to Ghana and set up my business. Or I'm going to, okay, that strategy, guys, that's winning. It's all part of winning the race. Do you think that Usain Bolt, listen, do you think that Usain Bolt goes to the other people that he beat? I don't think he's competing anymore. I think he's out of it for now. But Sha'Carri, okay, Sha'Carri's the new track star. Okay, when Sha'Carri beats people in the Olympics, she beats her competition, maybe even her own teammates. She gets a gold medal and the prize money or whatever. She gets a sponsorship for some commercial. Do you think she goes to the silver gold medalist and the bronze medalist and says, "Oh, I'm so sorry that I beat you. I'm so sorry that I was half a second faster than you. I'm so sorry that, I've been training for a long time." Do you think that Simone Biles goes to the other gymnast and says, "Hey, I know that I just totally dominated and did a sweep and won all these gold medals. I am so sorry about winning." And also, would our enemies do the same? Would they apologize for winning? No. So we should apologize for these, in my opinion, the small advantage. The small advantage. Now, I'm definitely someone who is internationally traveling. And to be honest with you, there are times when it's very, very tiring. There are times when it's very, very tiring to think that in order for me to see my mom or my little sister, I got to get a plane. I got to, raise the money for the plane ticket. I got to figure out how I'm going to do this and that. Nowadays in 2022, I got to check the requirements. Do I need this? It's extremely tiring. Certainly coming to the UK and all the drama that goes along with it is tiring. I've already spent about a month here and everything is behind the schedule here in the UK. But guys, are you ready to run the African race? My goals are to be successful on the continent. That's my goal. The process is not where I'm stuck at all. You know what I'm saying? However, I need to facilitate that is what I got to do to facilitate that. But at the end of the day, let it be known, let it be said, let it be the factual truth that I did and achieved my goal. Because I'm prepared to run the African race, and it has nothing to do with the next person. It has nothing to do with the next person. The fact that there are diasporans coming to the continent acting up has nothing to do with whether or not I will stay. Even the fact that some of them are acting up in Ghana, it doesn't make me want to move elsewhere. I've already chosen and selected Ghana. After I did my world travels, I came to the conclusion that's where I want to be at. You see, if you're ready to run this race, you've made the decision in your mind, and you should be resolute. Now, you can be flexible as to how to facilitate the win, but at the end of the day, the win is what you want. If you go to the Olympics and you run the race, you want to win. If you're swimming, if you're a gymnast, if you're playing tennis, you want to win. Do you think Serena just goes to these Wimbledon competitions just for fun? Oh, I want to wear my tennis skirt. I want to, I want to be on CNN. No, she goes to win. It's very obvious that she goes to win. And all the other champions, it's very obvious that they go to win. Did their career path go prior the way they wanted it? Did everything work the way they wanted it? Did they incur some failures? Did they lose some competitions? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, let it be known, let it be said that at the end of the day, you achieved your goals. We are too emotional as a people. We are too, very psychologically impacted by our environments in the West, I believe, because there's so much self-doubt in people that, they are easily discouraged. And I know that that's a part of the Western environment and upbringing. That's how they want you to feel. Because if you feel that way, then they can always sell you the solution, and they can always sell you some kind of product that's going to make you feel like, it can be the answer to your problems. Okay. When you have self-confidence, that means that irrespective of what's going on around you, what other people say, even sometimes the odds, you don't even care about the odds sometimes, because you're like, nah, I could do this. I can do this. I can make this happen. I look at, for instance, one of the sources of my, motivation, I guess, is this is kind of funny. Big shout outs. Thank you so much. Oh, what's up? What's up? What's up? Big shout outs. Yes. Oh, I'm coming to that. GBO, that's a really good question. Thank you so much for your super chat. I'm going to finish my point, then I'm going to answer this question. So one of the sources of my motivation forever, okay, this is just between me and you guys, has been white people. Because I don't see them to be superior to me in any way. I don't see them to be an intellectual people, a creative people, an extraordinary people at all. So when I see them, matter of fact, some of the people that I have encountered growing up in school, and I'm definitely not the only one, would really find some of them quite dumb or dense or stupid even, or very aloof. So I would look at these people and I would tell myself, if they can do something, certainly me. Okay, before I was the African superstar, just me as Gina, just me with all my capabilities and an intellect and, tenacity. Certainly, if they can do something, I can do something. And I look at, for instance, how these kind of individuals can go out into the world and matriculate. And I believe, I'm like, okay, if they can do it, I can do it. I can matriculate on the continent among my people. I can be the one to reconnect my family lines back to the continent. I can be the one to be an inspiration and resource to my people. I can do it. And that's what drives me. And when the circumstances look a bit strange, questionable, I go back to that original mind of, Gina, you can do this. This is not an impossible feat. And I think if more of the people that genuinely love the continent, reminisced on that very fact that, hey, we can do this. It's not an impossible feat, guys. It is challenging right now. I'm not going to lie to you. A lot of us were stabbing in the dark. There is no infrastructure to make the process of migrating from the West back to the continent smooth currently. You know, it is our responsibility, as well as other diasporans, as well as other people that's going to come behind us, to create that infrastructure so that other people will be able to streamline it. But it will happen. It will happen because as time goes, things change, laws change, things get implemented, and so on and so forth. So, just be encouraged on your walk. Just be encouraged on your walk if you're ready to run this African race. All right, now start out shout outs, okay, and also to answer my super chat question. So let me go ahead and start with the shout outs. So we have Miss Amina here. Big shout outs to you guys. Please, guys, make sure you like the stream, and you can also be like GBL and send super chat. I appreciate all the support today. Alexis is in the building with me. Guys, recently, Alexis, she started a YouTube channel. Well, I don't know how recent it is, but it started showing up on my feed. So make sure we go support Alexis on her channel. Okay. Matrell on a Mission, she's also a content creator in Egypt. Let's go support her on her channel as well. Big shout out to Matrell on a Mission. What's up? What's up? What's up? Amina says she's building a remote work system for the move. So she is preparing to, I'm not sure exactly where she's going. She's going to Ghana. I actually met Amina and my very sweet niece in Ghana. So I physically met them. We had a really nice lunch. It was wonderful. So yes, I know Amina is preparing herself. Alexis is preparing herself. She talks about her journey on her channel. She's from Brooklyn in New York, and she has really great content. I encourage you guys to go over there. But she actually published a video about getting ready for the continent. How much money should she raise, and different concerns that she has, and they're all legitimate. Your concerns about your transition are totally legitimate. I'm not going to be the person to minimize them. All I'm going to say is that, okay, be strong, be ready to withstand the challenges if you're ready to run the race. If you're ready to run the race, okay, you are just resilient. You're resounding. You come back. You're just what's the word? Relentless. Okay, you refuse to accept that. Whatever's happening, you're refusing that outcome. You're refusing failure. You have made up in your mind, I don't care what happens. Because for me, I realize living in the West full time, it's not for me. Every time I visit, it reminds me more and more and more that that's the case, which means that if returning to the West is not an option for me, that means I gotta make something happen in the continent. Where else am I gonna go? Asia? Do y'all think I'm about to move to Korea? Huh? I mean, let's be real. So there's a lyric in a Jay-Z song. He says, when your options is none and the pen is all you have. You feel me? So when you make up your mind, okay, I'm going to make this thing work here, then you got to be ready for the run. You got to be ready for the race. Big shout out to the African superstar family. Alexa says, I look at it as a marathon. I don't want to up and leave without a strategy and streams of income in place. And that's very smart. I would, as you know, I wouldn't encourage you to leave, ill prepared. The more prepared you are, the more potential you have for success. Now, you don't want to take 10 years. Okay? You need to set up some kind of infrastructure within a reasonable time frame. But definitely you need to, don't just say, okay, that's it. Move out of your apartment this month, buy a one-way ticket, sell your car. You're getting to Ghana. You're looking for a place to live. You don't know anybody there. And you come there and you realize, oh my God, you have all these cultural differences. No, that's not the way to do it. Give yourself a reasonable time frame, whatever that means in terms of uh, what you're dealing with and all of the things you need to get together and raise the money and blah blah blah. you know but the continent is ever changing. That's something that um you also got to be aware of is you don't want to miss the continent because you're delaying and taking too much time to get ready. you know the Ghana 10 years is going to be different than the Ghana of 2022. you know and I think in some positions, which is the decision ultimately I made, which is like, okay, I just need to get on the ground. You know what I'm saying? I can't afford to buy land. I can't afford to build my mansion, you know, but I need to get into the mode of things so that I'm a bit familiar when I get there. And that has been really helpful for me. Big shout outs to you. Big shout outs. Well, Alexis. I'm not trying to be fun, but I am the African superstar. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Fortunately, I mean, in all honesty, the UK, I prefer the UK to America. I don't really think that I could be going back and forth to the US the same way. Um, it's within my budget to come to the UK. It's not extremely time consuming. You know what I mean? And I still, because I still have been regularly coming here since I moved, basically. I've been averaging 2 or 3 trips a year. So, I'm still kind of in the system more in the UK than in America. But I definitely think, me personally, I couldn't toggle between the US and Ghana. It's really expensive to travel to the US, and the US just doesn't make it easy. It just doesn't make it easy. Fortunately, I'm managing. But I also thank the ancestors for, accompanying me on my journey and always working things out in my favor. You know what I'm saying? Because it's crazy. It's crazy. It's not how I ideally would like it. To be honest, I would like to spend less time in the UK than I do currently in a year's time. I'm averaging about 2 or 3 months a year. Currently, I spent 3 months last year. This year, I plan on two, but I got to get my project done. That's why I'm here this time. It's not what I wanted, but I'm running the race. I'm running the race. I know, for instance, more specifically, doing a collab project with a British Ghanaian is a good look for me in Ghana. My music is blowing in Ghana. I'm on the radio in Ghana. I've been performing in Ghana. So I'm trying to collab to, create more awareness and kind of capture the market that I've been looking at specifically. So doing a project here, shooting a video here and stuff is going to get me more appeal in Ghana. So this is a strategic move. But yes. Now, on to our super chat question. That comes from Phoenix, Arizona. It says, "Do I get challenged in Ghana considering my black or single stance?" Not in Ghana. Ghana, I mean, it has a totally different dichotomy in terms of dating because there is very limited interracial dating in Ghana because we're a black majority. I do get challenged from other people in the West. You know, People are like, well, it hasn't been working out, and maybe you just need to broaden your horizons. And, there are a lot of black people, a lot of black women, unfortunately, that haven't had successful relationships. They're like, you should just give in. And, even some family members are like, well, maybe you can. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, it is what it is. I want to perpetuate a black family. There's only one way to do that. Okay. There's only one component to do that. In addition to not being attracted to non-black men. you know so it is what it is. I can't really flex on that. There are some things I can maybe be a little bit more flexible on, but that's just not one of them. I just want and need that component to achieve my legacy and my future. And if I can't in some reason, then I won't, but I'm not also selling out. So yeah, I wouldn't say in Ghana, no. That people will ask me about my views on race, but I know that some Ghanaians have said, as more and more diasporians go, they're kind of getting a broader picture, and they say, all the people that are coming in from the West feel like you. They have strong views on race, and they prefer to be around their own people, and they're Pan-African and this and that. And I'm like, yeah, because but that has to do with our environment. We have to remember as well, people on the continent are not growing up with racial tensions and racial chaos. There may be tribal things because people are always like, yeah, there's tribalism, but that, I mean, and even in Ghana, it's not extreme cases of that. You have some places that are like extreme cases of religious intolerance or tribal clashes or whatever, or what goes on, like for instance in Israel, between the Palestinians and the Israelis. It's not extreme like that in Ghana. It might just kind of be like, oh, if you're from this and that tribe, my parents don't want me to date somebody, but not like, get the hell out of my side of town, this is our tribes, you know what I mean? It's just a different kind of vibe. But yeah, I do get challenged, but more from people in the West than those on the continent. And thank you so much for your super chat. Big shout outs, family. Big shout outs to the African superstar family. What's up, Frank? Sarah, I see you. And Mr. Andy Brown, where you been at? You said been a long time no see. Where you been? I've been here. What's up? What's up, Sarah C? Big shout outs to the African superstar family. Yeah, guys. So, at the end of the day, this video is just to, once again, try to prepare you mentally for this journey. You have to anticipate that you're going to go through some things on your journey. Okay. I know a lot of you guys have seen Hollywood movies and happy endings and all that kind of stuff. And in as much we want to, we want to leave our environments in the West and just come home to the continent, and all of our problems just melt away. That's not what it is. In reality, there's been a lot done to sustain division between those on the continent and those abroad. You know, we don't really know a lot about each other. We haven't really lived with each other. There's all kind of cultural differences and stereotypes, and there's a lot of things to overcome. In addition to different foods and language barriers and all kind of things. So you got to know that you're going to encounter some of these things, but you have a brain to think, and a lot of you guys are really, really smart. You're doing phenomenal things for other people and not benefiting. How about you apply that brain power to your own life, your problems, and maybe your environment among your peers? That's the place where you should want to be dynamic. I can't speak about y'all, but I'm tired of them eating off me, for real. Because I'm like, y'all are benefiting and I'm not getting anything out the deal. And I'm not happy about that. I much rather contribute somewhere where, it's valuable or it's needed or it'll be appreciated. I feel very loved and cherished on the continent. The various African communities that have supported me, from the Nigerian community, Ghanaians, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get so much love. Cameroonians, Ethiopians, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people show me love. And that's something I can't necessarily say I just feel an abundance of in the West. So I want to contribute my efforts to the continent. And so am I ready to run the race? Yes, it's obvious I'm ready to run the race. I'm running it. Every day. I mean, when I think about my life from now to next year, I have no idea where I'll be. When I was probably 21, 20, that kind of life would drive me crazy, not really knowing the next chapter. I don't really know. Because at this stage of the game, I'm taking it as it comes. When situations confront me, I then sit down with the problem and look around about how I'm going to deal with it. It's not really issue of can I, it's how will I, and what time frames are we looking at, and this and that. I know that I can solve whatever. You know what I'm saying? So count it up. Count it up. Are you ready to run this African race? Are you going to deal with the problems? Learn from the people that are going before you. Do your research. You think you want to live in Tanzania? You think you want that? Okay, come here on YouTube, get you some Tanzanian content creators, book your ticket out there, go see what it's like. You know what I'm saying? Google online or look at a couple apartments, see what the prices are going for, you know, check out what kind of foods they got, nightlife, see if it's something you want. You know, see if it's something that you can envision yourself there. Because I totally belong and fit in Ghana. I mean, it's totally my home. It's totally, I love it. You know, I was speaking to a friend earlier today and they're like, well, when are you going back? And I'm like, man, I got to get this project finished. And I've been going through some delays, but I cannot wait to get home. I'm even yesterday I had a daydream about sitting at the pool with the strawberry daiquiri, you know, after working out at my gym. I'm like, this is, you know, I Ghana, I fit, you know, but that's something that you guys will not know unless you do the legwork to figure it out. You might go somewhere and be like, absolutely not. This is not what I'm going for. You know what I'm saying? I can't see myself here. I don't think I'll fit in. You know, that's a good indication that hey, maybe not. If you're extra adamant about maybe that particular place, maybe you go a few times. I know O'Shea Duke Jackson, he went to Uganda and he told me, you know, the first time he went, he was not happy. You know, but then the second time he got there, he's like, oh, okay. You know, and it started growing on him. So maybe you go a few times. I went multiple times. I went almost 2 times a year since my first trip in 2016. So by the time I moved in 2020, I have been several times, you know. So anyway, guys, that's our conversation today. Big shout out to the African Superstar family. Much love to GBL for his super chat. I really appreciate it. For those of you watching the playback, make sure that you like this stream. Also, we're dropping our next music video at 3,000 subscribers. I'm just waiting on y'all. I'm just waiting on y'all. Video been ready. Video been ready for weeks. We got it back in June, actually. You know, we actually had the video back before. We actually got the video before. Are you all right? So we got the video back before the Liar 2022. So we're just waiting on you guys to drop it. So make sure you guys subscribe today. Until we meet again, stay black and true. If you ain't black, just stay true.